Hello and welcome to Cooking with My Pickle. What are we doing today? What are we doing today? Tracy, beautiful wife behind the camera in the audience. What are we doing?
Mini meatballs with an agrodolce.
Polpettini agrodolce. What the hell is that? Well, a mini meatball in Italian is polpettini, agrodolce, sour and sweet. So we're going to take onions and peppers and meatballs and do them in a sweet and sour sauce. Quick and easy. But first,
Our little meatball, the pickle.
our little meatball. This is our meatball. This is our polpettini. Pickle.
She's excited about the meatball.
Pickled flowers, Phillips. Look at this.
Phillips flowers.
Phillips flowers.
Are.
You ready for this? I think you're ready. So, let's begin. A little hand wash. I'm going to show you a lot of tricks. And we're live. We're doing this live, okay? First thing we're going to do, I'm going to heat my pan very low at this point. Get that working. Okay. Ground beef, 80-20. Okay?
How much?
1 pound.
Okay.
Ground beef. Room temperature, probably about 20 minutes.
Why?
I don't want it super ice cold. I need to work it. Okay?
But you don't want to overwork meatballs, correct? They say that.
You
Do
don't.
they get tough?
They get tough. They get tough.
Oh, you're going through paper towels like there's no tomorrow.
This is what I do. Okay. So, 1 egg. 1 full egg goes in. Then I'm going to go in with about 3 tablespoons of half and half.
Now, you didn't soak the breadcrumbs in that. Why not? Normally people soak bread or breadcrumbs in the milk.
I do that when I'm using bigger pieces of bread for a bigger meatball. This is a small meatball, so I'm using breadcrumbs that will mix with the half and half.
In the meat?
Yes.
How many breadcrumbs? How much?
Oh, I'd say about 1/4 cup. And this is Italian breadcrumbs.
Unseasoned?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not panko, regular breadcrumbs.
Mm-hmm.
You want the smaller?
Yes, and if we need to add more, we will. So we reserve some to the side. Okay. Parmesan?
About how much?
2 tablespoons. I like Parmesan. Okay. Our beautiful shell with salt and pepper. A little pepper, a little salt, to taste. As my grandmother used to do it. Italian seasoning. Just a little dash. And granulated garlic.
You're using granulated instead of fresh. Why?
I want a better roll. These are smaller. Sometimes pieces of garlic will open up the meatball a little too much, and when it's small I can't get that seal on it. Got to use your hands on something like this, because you have to feel it. I have to feel if the meatball is going to set. And the only way you can do that is by using your hands. Okay? Now in the olden days, people used to taste this raw.
Ugh.
Or they put it on French bread or Italian bread with a little garlic.
You're saying that like you haven't done that, like it was like it back in the time of the horse and buggy.
I used to do it all the time. I don't recommend that you do it. Okay? So I'm really going to work this, but not too much, just enough to incorporate everything.
What are you looking for as far as consistency where you know if you have to add more bread or more liquid? Like what are you looking for?
It should leave your hand clean. You should be able to roll it and it leaves your hand pretty clean.
You mean like this?
Yeah.
Is that the right? Or does it need to be drier? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Now, this does need a touch more breadcrumb. So let me wash my hands.
Because it's still a little wet?
It's a little wet, and that's okay. You want it a little wet, and then you work it to dry. You don't want it too dry where then you can't reverse it. So I'm going with a little more.
So how much more do you think you put in?
Probably about a tablespoon and a half.
How much total then? 3.5 tablespoons?
3.5 tablespoons.
To how much cream again?
3 tablespoons.
Okay, thank you. So
now I can feel the difference.
So
Now
it's
I can feel
basically
it.
1 to 1.5.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I can feel it. It's totally different. It's a touch drier, which is going to enable me to be able to work it. Okay? So, I'm going to wash my hands again.
Even though you're going to use your hands to form it?
That's how I am. Chefs are very anal. Okay, our pan is coming up.
You don't need more than one sheet of those. They're like towels.
You keep telling me.
I know, because
Little trick when you roll meatballs.
killing me over here.
Have wet paper towel. You want your hands a little wet.
And what does that do?
They come off clean. They won't stick. So, we're going to go here. Pan's getting pretty hot. Go lower. Turn it off. It's warm.
Can you do this, roll them and put them in the fridge and then cook them like the next day?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Now, I can tell you to take a tablespoon and do it that way so each one is the same size, but train yourself to use your hand and feel it. And take a little bit.
Is your hand wet?
Wetting my hand on a paper towel, and I'm going to roll, okay? My hand is clean because it's a little wet. I would say this is 1.5 ounces, if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Again, train yourself. There were times I would have to do hundreds of these.
What's your deal? What have you done in your life that you think you can do these YouTube videos?
Oh, I'm a 5-star trained French Escoffier chef. I started with my dad, had the rendezvous in New York. I've run some of the best kitchens and worked with some of the best chefs, and I just love to cook. Now, not to brag, but if you see,
Very nice.
it's all the same size.
You have some great balls there, Chef.
I have some great balls, and again, you're training yourself. I can feel the size. I can almost feel the weight in my hand. Okay. Again, as I'm rolling them, I'm not overworking them. I'm just kind of cupping, okay? Cupping and rolling like this. I learned this from my grandmother,
Yes, Millie?
Millie, in Brooklyn.
She made a lot of meatballs, Millie?
Yeah, she used to do the really big ones. She used the Italian bread, and then she used buttermilk and garlic.
Now, part of what's nice about the smaller ones is that you don't have to go in the oven. You can cook them in the pan. And you were telling me the other day, for at least a half an hour, the importance and why people don't talk about not overcooking meatballs.
Why do you have to have meatballs overcooked? Why can't you have a medium rare meatball? You have it on a burger, you have it on a steak. Why can't you do it on a meatball?
And this makes it...
Succulent and juicy.
Okay, there you go.
Otherwise, meatballs get so overcooked, and then they're put in sauce for hours, or let's say an hour to rewarm, and they're not alive. You want a little of that juice in there, okay?
The flavor better if they're not overcooked?
I think so. I think it's night and day.
Is it beefier?
You love that word.
Yes, I do.
It's beefier. Again, I'm patting my hand.
So you're not really, your hands aren't really that wet. They're just damp.
Just damp.
Okay.
Just damp. Just damp enough, and that's the trick to rolling meatballs. Okay, a few more. What's Pickle doing?
She's patiently waiting on the pillow. Because she says she doesn't, the rolling of the meatballs drives her crazy. It's just
Okay.
too much.
So,
You're not going to finish them?
that's enough for right now.
All right.
Wash your hands again.
Because of cross-contamination from the raw beef.
Yes.
Well, some people don't know.
Okay, hands gonna come up. Okay. Now, we need something to put the meatballs in when they come out. Take another pan here. What kind of oil?
Olive oil.
Olive
Because it's Italian. But we're using extra virgin because that's what we have, but you use like a light. You wouldn't use a finishing oil.
Right, and I'm not putting a ton in. I'm putting maybe in 3 teaspoons because there's enough fat in this. I don't want them swimming in too much oil, okay? I'm going to raise up. I'm also using Teflon. I like Teflon. Okay, you can see all the same size. You want them to cook evenly. Very, very important. Don't have to wash our hands again. We're going to use little tongs. And you can hear it. And you want to spread them evenly in the pan, okay?
Ooh.
If you put too many in the pan, it's going to get too cold.
It cools the oil down, correct?
Exactly.
And that goes for anything you're sauteing or pan frying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. They're ready, they're jumping
They're
in.
slippery little devils.
Now, if you didn't want to do this agrodolce sauce, could you make these, and then even if you say you have for a party, could you just put whatever, maybe even a jar sauce on them and some bread or say toothpicks?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
They're great appetizers.
Yes. Now, I'm going to take just a touch of this oil out. I'm going into a little dish here.
Why?
Well, because I see that I don't need that much. Okay?
Well, how do you know you don't need that much to tell people at
Once
home?
the meatballs are in, I can kind of see where I'm at and how much fat is coming out.
Well, tell them how much is too much. How did you know? They want to know. They don't know.
I don't know if you could see this. Can you get a good shot of that?
Yeah. Okay.
So I would say at this point there's maybe about a tablespoon and a half of oil.
Okay.
And
so you
now
wanna
my
keep it
browning
that.
is better.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And that's okay. You can take oil out. It's about putting things in at a later time that may not work. So I'm getting really nice color at this point.
Yes.
Okay? So I'm turning them. Remember, I'm going to do these medium rare.
They smell
I'm
good.
not going to cook these to death.
Well, because aren't you going to put them back into the pan with the
Yes,
sauce
you have
so
to
they'll
make
cook a
that
little bit longer?
exactly good. They're going to go back in, and as you can see, they're cooking pretty quickly.
Yes, they
Now,
are. Faster
the beautiful
than
part of this is the meat is going into the oil, the font on the bottom, the garlic, the salt, the pepper, the Italian seasoning, so we have a really nice flavored oil.
Because you're not going to clean the pan to
No.
start the sauce, so you're going to use that. You'll deglaze that fond, the stuff at the bottom of the pan, with what, the vinegar?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I have a little too much, oh, is that pickle?
Yeah.
Hi, pickle. If I have a little too much, I'm going to take a little off because what meatballs put out is a lot of water. Remember, beef is 70% water, so what you're seeing here is a lot of water coming out of the meatball. So if I find I have too much liquid, I'll take a little off. Now I'm just working them. They're getting nice and seized, the outside to sealing, so the inside can stay juicy. It's got a great smell.
It does. It smells very good.
Now, as that's finishing, Agrodolce, you know what I forgot? The vinegar.
I'll get it and hand it to you.
Apple cider vinegar, I think we're going to use.
Yes.
I have beautiful baby sweet peppers. These are not hot, that I've cut in half. Red onion, okay? Really nice and tart. We're going to use apple cider vinegar.
How many peppers? How much onion?
Oh, I did about a quarter of, not even an eighth of a red onion, and I did 5 baby peppers.
Okay.
Okay?
And this would serve how much? All in. 2 people?
I have some beautiful baby heirlooms. I'm going to use them. Okay, these are cooking nicely.
They smell really good. Would you serve this with other pasta or with something on the side?
Either way.
Okay.
Either way. Now remember, these are going to continue to cook. When I take them out, they're going to carry and they're going to go back in.
All right.
So I'm going to take them out at this point. They're rare, mid-rare. And I'm going to put them on a plate. I'm going to reserve it.
So what? Do you probably cook them what? 2 minutes? 3 at the most?
Maybe about 3 or 4 minutes.
At what heat? Medium high?
This is medium high.
All right. They look very delicate.
They are. They're like little delicate flowers. Polpettini?
Polpettini.
Polpettini? I love it. Okay. A lot of water in here with the oil. I want to discard that. So I just want a touch on the bottom.
Sure.
Just a touch.
Up.
Okay?
Up and no. There.
Can you see
Thank
it?
you. Yes.
Okay, just a touch. Do a little wipe. And heat it back up. Get it hotter.
Still over medium high?
Yes.
All right.
I want to see a little smoke, which I'm seeing now.
Okay.
So I'm going in with the peppers.
And you leave the stimps on the pepper.
I do.
You don't eat them, you just like them.
Yes, yes. On these you can. These babies.
You can eat them?
Oh yeah, these babies
I
for
didn't
sure.
know
You want
that.
to blister them, okay? And these will go pretty quickly. Ah, the sweetness of these peppers, you can just smell it. And just a touch of that oil on the bottom, okay? Hopefully we have enough gas to get one out.
You have to do a gas change midway.
A gas change. So these are working. And you can see they're starting to blister. If you can see that.
Yes.
Starting to get good color. Don't worry if some of the seeds go in this. These are not hot peppers. Can you use hot peppers? Of course you can.
So say you wanted to do those, and could you like throw in a Fresno chili or a jalapeno with it to make it a little spicier? Yeah. Okay.
Onions going in. And I have my onions cut thin, okay? Into little strips. You smell now the onions and the peppers?
You're using the tongs on a non-stick pan, isn't that bad?
Yes. Thank you very much. You're good. To me, this smells like San Gennaro, the Feast of San Gennaro, sausage and peppers. When you go to Little Italy, I can't even begin to tell you. Now, we're getting beautiful color. I don't want to overcook this too much. I just want to get this to open up. And as you can see,
yes, I can see.
And we're not oily, okay?
No, you're not.
Greasy. And what I'm thinking about is onions and peppers and the heat and what's happening. I just love it.
Now you haven't put any salt and pepper in there, will you?
Yes, not right now.
Okay.
I want to deglaze.
How much vinegar?
I would say probably about 1/4 cup.
Could you use red wine vinegar if you wanted?
Absolutely.
All right.
And you getting that vinegar hit?
Yeah.
It knocks you backwards, okay? And immediately I come up to a bubble. Let that cook down just a touch. At this point, I'm going to throw a little salt and pepper. Oh, the vinegar is still very raw, so let it come down. I'm also going to put in just a touch of Italian seasoning.
Like what, a 1/16 of a teaspoon?
Yeah, just a little shot, a little touch of garlic. I'm waiting on the tomatoes.
When do you put in the sweet?
I'm going to go right now. Now, you can use sugar, you can use brown sugar. I use stevia, it's concentrated, just a touch. I would say 1/16 of a teaspoon on this, just a touch.
That's it? That's going to be sweet enough?
I don't want it too sweet.
Okay.
But this will balance out the vinegar.
Okay.
Go in with your meatballs. Right into the Agrodolce sauce. Let them start to work. Again, there's a great simplicity here. That garlic, everything is working, that vinegar is cooking down and becoming less prominent and a little sweeter. Agrodolce is a gastrique, it's a nice balance. I'm going in with the tomatoes at this point.
Could you finish the sauce with the, I know it's sacrosanct in Italian, but could you finish it with a little butter if you wanted a little thicker, or would you do a little more olive oil?
You can finish it with butter.
Okay.
Absolutely, and that's a good point. Actually, a little butter on this is not a bad idea.
You're giving me such a look.
Well, you know what? I think I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Because it's screaming for that.
Well, it will add that richness to the sauce. You don't, because you took out so much of the fat. I'm just thinking you'd want the sauce to have a little richness, right?
It's actually screaming for that.
Unsalted butter.
Unsalted, very small amount.
What, like a tablespoon or less? Half a tablespoon, I would say?
Not, yeah, if that much. Probably less than that.
And this is called a Monte Aubert.
Monte Aubert.
What does that mean?
To finish with butter,
Okay.
I'm putting just a pat in. And that's very good. Because you want to know something? It was screaming for it. Now some Italians might say, no, just the olive oil. But of course they cook with butter as well. It's a personal decision.
So if someone didn't want to put in the butter, they would, at the end, hit it with a little more pickle, a little more of the olive oil.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're just going to let that butter melt in, that vinegar, a touch of sweetness.
Smells delicious.
The original jus, pan sauce that came out of the meat. There's a very delicate component here.
Ooh, smells so good.
Simple, easy. We're going to take our bowl. Get a nice fork. I'm going to turn it off at this point. It's ready. Now, I want to finish. With a little bit of basil. I'm taking it right off the basil plant. I'm not doing a chiffonade. I'm just going right in with fresh
Rustically
basil.
ripping?
Rustically ripping. The colors, the smell, the ease of
Smells
execution.
absolutely phenomenal.
So it's a polpette?
Polpettini.
Polpettini, I keep saying polpette. Polpettini agrodolce, mini meatballs in a sweet and sour sauce. Okay? Touch of butter on the end. The color
There you go.
is there. We go into the plate. And this is really so much Italian cooking, one pan and then the slide. You know, when I was a kid, I used to watch a chef called Vincenzo. He had a cooking series, and I absolutely loved it. Everything was done in one pan. Now,
Yeah, come over.
really show it to you.
Yeah.
Get there.
A little higher.
Good angle.
Higher. Right there.
Right there. You can see that?
Yes. But you always try to hold it like you're out to your knees.
Fresh, the peppers are fresh. They have a snap to them. The onions still have integrity, okay?
Tell me
Now
what
we
you're
taste.
tasting.
You can finish this with Parmesan, by the way.
Yes,
if you
I was
want.
thinking that.
But I'm gonna go just like this. It's hot.
Yes. I wish you would have shown the inside of the meatball.
Let me show
Because
you.
you have to give Pickle a little bite anyway. So bring the meatball here. No, that's good. It's just tender.
And you can see,
Yes. It's tender. It's not black. A lot of times you get meatballs that look blackened.
yeah, it's so tender. It's not overcooked.
So what are you
Okay?
tasting? You keep eating it.
This is really good. And I know I shouldn't say that, but I have to say it. Slight sweetness, a vinegary butter creaminess, the richness of the meat. It just works. The Italian seasoning, the salt, the pepper. It's a little meatball with a huge amount of flavor. So let's grab pickle. Remember, agrodolce, sweet and sour, glazes, sauces. You can do so many things. Stews. It's a balancing.
Pickle's
of both
also
components.
agrodolce. She's a little sweet and sour.
She's agrodolce.
She's agrodolce as well.
So, my little pickle. Let's see. And they just fall apart.
Which is, yes, they're very tender. Oh, it's meat. Oh, it's very good.
It's good?
Yeah, she's grunting.
It's good. And yes, you hit the nail on the head. Meatballs have to be tender. Otherwise, it's like eating rubber balls. So, a meatball agrodolce, simple, fresh.
Yeah,
Yep.
hold it like that, yeah.
It's the way to go. Chef Ivan Flowers, cooking with my pickle. I'll see you.